Hey, what's good? We live again. It's Trapping Out Your Mama Basement podcast, and we got a good friend of mine on today. Someone who has really kind of been I've kind of grown with over the last. Look at this. So let me tell y'all real quick. I'm gonna let me hold on. I'm gonna finish introducing you first,
All right,
and
all right.
so someone who I've been I've worked with in a professional setting. We got real cool and just kind of seeing him go through his thing and chase his dreams. And he got to see me do the same thing. And I think we've been encouraging and pushing each other through verbally and also just seeing what each other is doing. So this is really cool. I never really had this conversation with anyone revolving what his expertise and what his love and passion is. I want to introduce y'all to Shawty Low. Logan, what's good, bro?
Hey man, how's it going? How's it going? Just out here making it happen.
Yeah. Well, this is funny. So I was telling him, we kicked it like 2 weekends ago.
Yeah.
Had a good time. Had a kind of a hotel party of sorts. That was really cool because we hadn't seen each other in, man, what, 2 years almost, a
Bro,
year and
it's
a
been
half,
a hot minute.
hot minute. So we got to kick it, man. We got to really vibe with each other. And actually, I got my my Sugarland. I don't even know if I can show this logo and not get flagged or whatever.
It's just as long as we ain't playing no copywritten music, we shouldn't get flagged for nothing.
But so I got that courtesy of Low. And do you have a gamer tag that you go by? Matter of fact, let's get this out the way.
Yeah.
Eternal
So
Squad is your Facebook group, right?
so Eternal Squad is kind of what I came up with for like the followers of like my like YouTube and my Twitch and all that.
Gotcha.
So the Blind Eternity is what I go by,
Mm,
and that's my channel name. It's a reference to a thing in the Magic the Gathering card game.
gotcha.
It's kind of a little bit of piece of lore behind this like group of individuals that exist within the game. So that's where that came from.
Gotcha. And your channel, for the most part, is Twitch, what you're speaking on, right?
Yeah, so I mainly do Twitch right now. I've been trying to start putting out some content on YouTube as well, but
Mm-hmm.
just between work and everything, it gets a little tough to stay consistent on that front. But yeah,
I feel well. We definitely gonna dive into that because that's something I also struggle with, like juggling life, work, and everything. And like we're in the beginning phases of what we're trying to do for the most part,
for
right? So
sure.
I really want to address like how you maintain and how you kind of keep things going because I know for me it's extremely hard to like keep pushing through to follow this dream of making content and creating clothing and like just keep moving. So before we get going into that, so I want you to tell us, where else they can find you. What's your YouTube? What's your Twitch? Or you already mentioned your Twitch. What's your Instagrams? All these different platforms that can find you.
Yeah, so um, on Twitter, you can also just look up the Blind Eternity. That'll pull me
Bet.
up. I've been trying to kind of condense and unify all of my my socials just because that's gonna make it easier for people to find me.
Bet.
Um, I think my Instagram handle is an old nickname of mine, Longskie,
Long ski.
Longskie 32. Um, I haven't really integrated that into too much of my like Twitch stuff yet, so it's just a bunch of like old pictures of me and stuff. So, but yeah, then Facebook, The Blind Eternity. What else? Yeah, I do have a TikTok, but again, that's kind of a
Yeah, that's kind
whole
of
like
beyond me too, bro. I
yeah
haven't been able to get into new media, even though I know it's like can help and push things forward. It's just so difficult, like you said, to create content for one platform,
dude
let alone for 20 platforms that are all doing different things. You kind of like want to specialize each platform, each piece of content for
yeah
that platform. So, anyway, I was saying we kicked it 2 weeks ago. The
yeah
last weekend I went to Denver and I basically sprained my arm like trying to like so we on electric scooters, right?
okay
And
yeah
we
yeah
got into the skate bowl and I don't know what I did, but I'm like grinding on it with the electric scooter. I don't know what
okay
happened, but I like twist my arm in some kind of way and sprained it. I also like think I sprang a butt cheek. I don't even know how that
bro.
works. Bro, my
Gluteus
right booty
Maximus all out of a line.
bro, my right booty cheek is like hurting so bad, dog. Like I don't know what I can do to even fix it. But I promise you it wasn't like anything sexual or anything like that.
Um, I'm I'm sure. Pretty,
Well,
pretty hard to be, doing anything too wild on an electric scooter, but.
right. So like, tell me more about who you are, and like where you from, bro.
So from a small little town originally, Gibson City. It's kind of, 3,000 people, farmer town. Just always grown up playing video games, man. Like, started playing video games on the N64. I was a big Nintendo guy when I started. So, you know, Pokemon, Zelda, Mario, kind of all those original kind of hot Nintendo stuff.
Yeah.
And then I got the PlayStation and a bunch of stuff like that. So my content right now, I've moved since I invested a lot of money in a nice gaming rig for
Right.
PC. I've been playing a lot of primarily PC games lately. So we got like Magic the Gathering Arena. I've started doing a little Overwatch because everybody likes watching Overwatch for whatever reason.
Right.
Um, Me and a couple of my high school buddies, we do a Minecraft series every Friday.
Okay.
Um, so try to collaborate with some of them as well on that.
What was the first game that like kind of got caught your attention when you were like, okay, yeah, I just can't put this game down no matter what.
Man, so the first game that really piqued my interest was Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, or not Breath of the Wild, no, Twilight Princess. Sorry,
Gotcha.
Twilight Princess. Just because the puzzly nature of those games, just kind of like figuring out how you get through each level of the dungeon, just kind of really piqued my interest.
So something where you can kind of get lost in the game because it is difficult. You have to
It's
figure it out.
it's very immersive, yeah, because like you kind of start feeling like you're actually embodying, Link or whatever, and kind of get attached to the people in the game. So
Right.
for sure.
I think my first game, bro, was it was a fighting game on no, it was Star Fox on
Oh, okay.
N64, and
Star
just
Fox.
just kind of going through space and playing all these different games. I think after that was Rainbow Six
Okay.
on 64 as well, and then I really got heavy into. I had a PlayStation, so I got the Crash Bandicoots, things like
Mm.
that. And then like you said, Pokemon was always a big thing for me, bro. Like I never
Hmm.
got into the card series, but Game Boy
Yeah.
heavy, heavy rotation there. So, I can really appreciate it. But then at some point, I kind of fell off. Like you said, you've really um, put a lot into it recently. So, at what point did you ever fall off and kind of get back to it? Because it sounds like you were at a point you were really interested in some things may have happened. What kind of transpired, or what's going on with that?
Man, so honestly, once I kind of got into the real world,
Right.
after graduating college, kind of moving out, uh, that kind of took a back seat, trying to find, career path and whatnot,
Yeah.
just to make sure I can sustain, my life, with bills and whatnot.
True.
Yeah, so the real world kind of hit, and kind of had to put childish things aside for a little while,
Yeah.
but once I started working at AT&T for a while there, that really kind of got me in a pretty good financial position where I started kind of picking games back up and got to the point where I was like, this pre-built PC that I had that's like 5 years old, I need to start replacing this, and
Mm,
kind of get something that's actually going to be able to enable, because I've always wanted to stream.
right.
um, but like back in my parents' house when I was living there, I mean, we had like garbage internet. Like I'm talking maybe like 5 megabits per
5 megabits per
second.
second.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like it a
Yeah,
snail could get
AOL dial
information
up.
back. Yeah.
Still logging in the chat rooms and stuff, bro.
Yeah. So um and then once I actually got a rig that was able to handle the streaming and gaming at the same time, that's what really like kind of brought it to fruition, if you will.
What really made me think about that, bro, when you were just saying that is Doom. Like playing it's I just imagine you at your parents' house, your internet is so slow that you gotta
Mad as
play
hell.
Doom or like Oregon Trail or something like that.
Yeah, or just like trying to do like a game of like even like Madden. I played a lot of
Yeah,
like the sports games and like 2K.
yeah.
Like trying to boot into 2K on 5 megabits per second, just
Not worth
Ain't
it.
cutting it. You're over there just gliding on the floor like you ain't even dribbling or nothing, just sliding around.
Man, that's dope. That's crazy, bro. But I mean, so coming from a place like Gibson City, how is gaming in the area? Was anyone you grew up with in that particular area gaming? I mean, you talking about 3,000 people.
Yeah,
Like, that's not the metropolitan place that, like you said, people may not even have access to the internet side because it's just not an option. So how was
true.
that?
Man, so I was kind of fortunate. I kind of fell into a friend group that kind of we all like playing games and whatnot. So like there was tons of nights where we would all just be hanging out. You know, for the kids out there nowadays, we had what you called local area network parties, so LAN parties.
Land? Yeah.
Where everybody would like bring their own console and their own TV, and you all play together that way.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we'd play 007 GoldenEye, which was
Yep.
like, the kind of the Call of Duty of that era where, you're all just going
Definitely
around
was the Call of Duty there for
going
sure.
around shooting each other, getting the golden gun. That was always the cool thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of definitely was kind of the outcast of like because everybody was like a farmer, kind of like redneck, kind of uh like we literally had drive your tractor to work day. So
Right.
like, that's kind of how like farmer town we were.
Gotcha.
But yeah, man, I just happen to have a good group of friends that
That's what's
all like
up.
gaming and stuff. So
I think it's really cool that, what I'm saying, we are able to find people that we really vibe with, and
hmm
that we can kind of grow into our own when we deal with them. You know what I mean? So that's really dope. And speaking of that, like we and you met, we were working. You were a supervisor at the time, I believe. When we
yeah,
first met
supervisor
at
in
AT&T.
training.
Right. Okay. Bet. So when we first met, and I was working there, and I just moved back to Illinois from Arkansas, and I was really honest. I was super depressed about it, bro. Like I hated it. And
Yeah,
anyway, but what I'm saying, AT&T was cool, and it was the first job I had worked in about 4 years with other people. Like
yeah,
every job I had before that, I was like working by myself. So it was just kind of a refreshing thing to be working with other people. But at the same time, like we're in a call center, and not. I'm kind of in a call center now, but it's much different scenario.
yeah.
But I remember we were having conversations then about what we wanted to do, and I was telling you about me with the clothing doing a podcast, and I never really knew at that time even how I would do it. And you were telling me you wanted to go into learning how to make video games, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, so that's what my degree is in actually. It's
Okay.
3D animation and game design. So I was definitely interested in kind of learning not also just video games, but I've always wanted to kind of design like a board game or a card game as well. I
Gotcha.
mean, I'm just kind of gaming overall. Of course, most of the content that you watch online is going to be digital. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where my focus has been recently. But yeah, man, I remember talking about the podcast, and I'm just like, dude, just make it happen. Like you just gotta start doing it.
Yeah, yeah, man. And I mean, that was a big thing. So I remember I took, at the time, for me, I came from making, a decent amount of money, like over 70,000 a year, to
Yeah,
coming back to Illinois, and I was making crap money in comparison. You know what I'm
right.
saying? But I need to be closer for a lot of different reasons. But I came in, and we talked about that, and it really pushed me and drove me to keep doing more because I could speak with someone who was, very similar to me. Like I have other aspirations
Yeah,
from what this is going on. And then at some point, me and you both, I remember telling you, hey, I bought the podcast mic in the box, and you were
yeah,
telling me how you were like getting back into learning more about your program, and like you were registering for some more extra classes, I think at the time.
yeah.
So what kind of explain from that point until closer to now, like until you really started the Facebook group, what kind of transpired to like really say, you know what, I'm going full force with this. I'm going to replace these computer parts. I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna make this happen.
Man, so honestly, because when we kind of first, connected or whatever, um, I had a girlfriend at the time, um, and she wasn't really kind of into that.
Yeah.
Um, so then after, we went our separate ways. I kind of started just, looking out for numero uno, kind of, fulfilling, my interests. So I mean, just with kind of some of the bonuses and stuff that we were earning at AT&T for sales and whatnot, because it was a sales and service position. I kind of just slowly started acquiring pieces over time to build my PC, which actually building a PC is a lot easier than I ever could have thought
Really?
it was going to be. It's a lot of just like plug and play, honestly. I just watched like a YouTube tutorial video or two,
But
and I
it's
had it
expensive
done.
though, right?
I mean, you can make it as cheap as you want, honestly.
Gotcha.
But like, I mean, I've dropped probably about, just to put a nice round number on it, like 1,500 on this
Okay.
PC. So, but I mean,
See,
like,
that's
this is
crazy.
probably
'Cause I
like,
got the Surface Book 2 and I paid almost 23. So, and
yeah,
I'm sure your computer's probably more powerful.
right. So, and I mean, this is probably double that if I had somebody build it. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Gotcha.
it's just all that labor and stuff that you pay people to do. You're just taking your own time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I don't know, man, because like I kind of at one point got really inspired by one of my buddies. He does a YouTube channel, and he was kind of starting to see success, and I was like, man, you know what? It's time. Like I've got these pieces together. I've kind of been watching. I've been reading a lot of kind of content from content creators. So
Hmm.
like just kind of reading about their experiences, what they did to start everything, and just kind of was like, you know what? Honestly, I'm home right now because of coronavirus. So like,
Right.
why not? Because I
So you
really
kind of
didn't
had that.
start until like late February, early March of this year.
Gotcha.
Really kind of making it consistent, like doing it after work almost every day when I can.
Hmm.
Um, because I was like, man, you know what? I'm home. I ain't doing shit. I'm just kind of relaxing. Might as well just put some content out there. And
That's
I've
what's
hopped
up.
in to a couple of cool communities within some of the people that I follow, and have started trying to, do some collaborations with some people and stuff. So um, I can kind of feel the climb a little bit. So and that's what keeps me going, kind of just feeling that success.
I was just gonna ask you what's like keeping you going through it, but I mean, I think just seeing, even having people telling you good job,
Hmm.
sometimes like is enough to help you like feel better about stuff because it's really hard starting off no matter what you're doing. And I'm not familiar with the game community really personally. I have a few, like I was telling you, I have a Switch. I have like a few games on the Switch. I thought about getting the PS5 because that Mario like a beast, but
Dude.
I just don't. I'm so focused on like doing this, you know what I mean? Even
Yeah.
as a, like you said, as a grown person, as an adult, like you got to pick your battles on what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Doing this and creating merchandise, like your hat, I'm really feeling. I was just showing you like the hoodies I'm making.
Yeah.
That stuff is a process, and I'm not familiar with graphic design software. I'm not familiar with video editing or photo, and I pay people bread to do stuff, and it just never has turned out. I'm not saying that's always the case,
Right.
but so what's your plan, or like, let me go back. What do you find is the most difficult part of doing what you're trying to do?
So it's twofold. It's the consistency and the just trying to find your niche but be diverse at the same time.
Got you. Okay.
You know what I mean? So the consistency, man, because I mean, honestly, this is a second job, honestly, at this point. You know what I mean?
Second and third for real.
Because I mean, you know, the way I approach it is like, okay, I've got a schedule that I want to follow, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I can kind of pick and choose. Hey, I can say, yeah, I'm not streaming tonight, even though I have it scheduled. But then that's a whole opportunity that you missed for someone to come along and find your
Yeah.
content.
Especially so you never know who's looking forward to seeing you
Exactly.
stream or see. I haven't dropped a podcast, and this one, I've recorded, like I told you, a few at this point,
Hmm.
and I haven't dropped a podcast in almost a year now, and there was just a lot going on, and I couldn't consistently put stuff out, so I just said I'm not gonna put anything out.
Yeah.
So I agree, bro. It's so difficult to like it's so difficult to be consistent, especially as you're doing everything yourself. So my bad. Go ahead, continue. So
No, you're good. Cause and then the other piece, like finding your niche, but also being diverse, cause like a lot of the things that I've been reading about, because I initially was like, you know what, I'm just going to stream on Twitch. That's going to be my platform. That's going to be what I do. But a lot of people I've listened to, you know, they're like, nah, so you need to diversify on multiple platforms. Because I mean, just the more platforms you're on, the more exposure you're going to get.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they start to see their success when they, you know, have a YouTube channel and, you know, they tie that into their Twitch, and then, you know, they're using TikTok as a means of like letting people know when you're going live. So, you know, because TikTok just shows your video to random ass people, and, you know, they may stop by and see what, you know, what it's all about.
Right.
um and then just having, again, always having your Twitter, your Facebook, all that, man. So like, again, it's like a whole like 15 to 20 minute process before I even start going live half the time,
Yeah.
because, you know, you're, you know, putting out on all your social medias and all that.
Right. Because even for this, and like I said, I pre-record my stuff, and I started doing that to be more consistent. And I even
Hmm.
when we have a conversation, like we might have some like my conversations I have ain't necessarily about the current world events. So we could almost drop something at any time. It doesn't necessarily matter because it's not about what's happening right now. You know what I
Right.
mean? So that's one thing I like, and it's more about the person, it's more about you and
Yeah.
what you're doing. But like you said, it's very difficult because you have to, there's so many little pieces and things that you may not be familiar with. Like if you're not already on TikTok, that's a monster to even learn how to adjust to. And then
Absolutely.
duplicate, you can't just duplicate one piece of content for every platform because the audience is different, the way the platform engages with people, the algorithms, all this crap, man. So like for me, I think that's the hardest part is that consistency, bro. And
Yeah.
the developing everything, because right now I have like Instagram, we have Twitter, we have Facebook, I have a website, I have I'm developing a YouTube, you know, and it sounds so weird because I personally feel so far behind, bro. YouTube is like, what you mean you don't have a YouTube kind of thing, you know?
It's almost like Facebook at this point. Like, you almost like, they're almost tied together at this point.
Yeah.
Which
So
actually,
it's
the funny thing is, Facebook is actually kind of starting to get into the streaming game right
a
now too.
gaming. I seen that because that's another question I was going to ask you. I noticed Microsoft said, you know what, our platform is done. They paid this guy who was that Ghost Ninja.
So Ninja, yeah, there. I think Ghost was one of them, but yeah, Ninja's the big one that, like, man, they paid him like 10 mil or something crazy just to,
Yeah,
like, you know, solely stream on their platform, and then just kind of like, see ya.
out of here. So, and to see something like that to go out, but and they mentioned, I remember Facebook was one of the biggest platforms that they're having competition with. Of course, you know, YouTube and Twitch and these other platforms, but to see a company as big as Microsoft even struggle to keep up, it's like we do have to pick and choose our battles. But I
Hmm.
agree with the diversification is it's a lot. So let me ask you this: have you attempted to, or do you think you're going to try to implement a team of people that does some of that marketing stuff for you? Or what do you think you're good at and what do you think you're not so good at where you could use help?
So, of course, yeah, that's all going to be kind of dependent on once I actually start seeing some revenue, probably,
Gotcha,
from what I'm
gotcha.
doing.
Yeah,
Because I'm still like super small in the game, man. So, because like I'm not even on the affiliate status yet for
gotcha.
Twitch. So that's kind of the goal right now, so I can start earning some revenue. Because once you hit affiliate, you can start getting subscribers, so they can actually subscribe, and you earn, like, I think half, like a normal subscription is like $5 a month. You earn half of it, you know, in just revenue, and then you can start getting ad revenue. You can start getting, you know, things of that nature paid, you know, for
Right.
viewership and like that. Um, but, you know, honestly, right now, I feel pretty comfortable because, again, you know, through my degree, editing is a big thing. So like I can edit videos pretty well, and feel comfortable about it.
Gotcha.
Um,
That's something I wish I'd have checked out before this, like how your video, because that's something I'm trying to learn more about myself. But go ahead, though. My bad.
yeah. So I don't know that there's really anything that I'm too uncomfortable with right now. It's just kind of you know, if anything, just kind of getting maybe like I don't know if this is the right word, but like a life coach or someone just to kind of motivate you, you know, to kind of continue on the
Supervision.
grind.
Yeah. So
Um, but yeah, that's kind of, I think, maybe the area where I'd maybe put some money in right now. I mean, eventually, yeah, if I can pay someone to edit my videos and I can just produce the
Right.
content, hell yeah, like that I'm all about it. But
So how do people listening and people watching this, like, how do they help you get to that affiliate status? Like, what can we do if we like your content? You know, what can we do to get you there?
man, so right now the four prerequisites are you have to stream so many days out of a month,
Mm,
stream so many hours, have a certain amount of followers, and then your average viewership. Um,
gotcha.
so I've hit almost all of them except for the average viewership. So really, all I need is just people to watch. You know what I mean? So
Right.
like, if you stop by and you like my content,
Mm,
you know, you don't even have to like actively be engaged. Just because a lot of people will do what's called lurking,
yeah.
where like, you know, just you can just mute it, put
Yeah.
it on another window, and just
Gotcha.
keep that viewership going though.
Right.
But I would like people to be engaged, because when you know, people are engaged with the stream, it makes it a lot easier for, you know, me to kind of be entertaining. um
Exactly. And you get to learn how to do your part better so you can keep doing it. So
exactly.
I got that. Now, so another aspect is what I want to do with this is I'm gonna just break it out. Like I want to do like every podcast I do the first 10 to 15 minutes of the podcast live on Facebook
Yeah,
and Facebook, Twitter, all the different platforms. And then the rest of it, you have to go watch it on YouTube. So where it's not
exactly.
too overwhelming, but it's like you get a clip of what's going on. Then it comes out like the following Tuesday, Wednesday or something, and you have to go watch it on YouTube, right? Because
Yeah,
then that way you like get a clip of what's going on live, and then you get to see the full version if you want to. And also it generates content for more, like I can reuse that one piece of content kind of thing. But
yeah.
it's like you said, bro, it's a lot. And I even watch, and I mentioned this earlier, I'm not familiar with Magic, right? I play Yu-Gi-Oh a lot. I still play Yu-Gi-Oh on my phone, and I know
Okay.
that's a very like different version of a card game, but to me it's like this is as close as I've ever gotten, right?
Yeah.
um and I'm heavy into the Yu-Gi-Oh game, but it's like I watch Magic and I'm like learning. I'm like, hey, this is something I might could get into. I think it's like the best thing is if you're kind of interested in gaming already, if you do watch a little bit, maybe you'll learn something. You know what I mean? Or maybe you'll see
Yeah.
something you like.
And you know, my recommendation for learning the game, if you ever do decide to take that route, is actually the Magic the Gathering Arena program for like the PC, because
Mm-hmm.
it's, you don't have to drop a dime on it. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
completely free to play. Now, of course, they have the, you know, kind of gimmicky market with like the free like currency you can earn, and then
Right.
the purchase currency like coins and gems and all that stuff. So, but it's definitely a good learning platform for people kind of new, or you know, who are kind of familiar but don't really know too much about it. Because man, like if I tried to teach you everything about Magic right now, we'd be here for a whole nother like 24 hours,
Right. We're
because
talking
it's
about a
just
game that's been out for what 25, 30 years, right?
93.
90,
93 is when it came
right,
out.
yeah, I knew it was for a minute because I remember, some of the things I am into is definitely inspiration. A lot of games have been inspired by that whole platform.
Yeah.
But I think like you were saying, like, it's just taking it in piece by piece and building that audience and being
Yep.
genuine to it. And you know what I'm saying? Like I was just telling you, I'm definitely grabbing one of those hats because that hat cold. What other merch do you have besides the hat? I know you got some t-shirts, right?
Yeah, so I've got basically right now it's just the hat and the t-shirt with the same kind of logo. I've
Gotcha.
got, of course, different colors and whatnot. I'm probably gonna buy, I got like a cranberry red t-shirt that'll have the same logo on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's got my little like my little face kind of logo on the
Gotcha.
sleeve. So, but but yeah, that's what I got right now. I'm looking at maybe making some like mouse pads,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of other gaming accessories to kind of go with that. So
You know what'd be dope I haven't seen, and I don't know how hard this will be, but like actual electronics, like headphones or something. Like maybe somebody who's
okay.
out, and I've been looking into stuff like that, and like somebody who's already producing the headphones, you can just brand it
Yeah.
yourself. Because basically you can do that with any type of clothing now, and I
Yeah.
think the market will expand to do that with other things. You can do it, but I don't know the quality of it. You know what I mean? That's the
Yeah,
hardest
I
part.
mean, you're probably not gonna get no, Dre Beats, and then
Nah,
have have your logo on it. But
right.
yeah, that's some I actually haven't considered, so I might have to look into that to see what that might look like.
Right. Now another thing I was wondering too, so you were talking about Twitch, and on Twitch they can subscribe, right?
Hmm.
Have you looked in is it and this may be against Twitch's rules, I really don't know how this should work, but Patreon, right? Where somebody
Right.
can pay for you to do something like, is it beneficial, even though somebody can like pay for Twitch? What if somebody like paid you on Patreon and they had access to all of your streams like that you're doing? Like they pay one fee and they can watch you on whatever you're on, that they get extra YouTube access or they
Yeah.
get the Twitch subscribe. They don't have to necessarily subscribe to it. There may be some, technical stuff in between time, but it sounds like it might be a good way to like build your audience as well. There's a podcast I listen to called Flagrant 2. I'm not sure if
Okay.
you're familiar with it, but
No.
they have like they have over 100. I want to say they have like 10,000 subscribers. They
Okay.
make almost $1 million a month off Patreon
Yeah.
alone, bro. And I pay for it. It's a dope show. And
Yeah.
I don't necessarily, it's not about the money to me, but I would, like you said, like to be able to be successful enough to where this can pay my bills. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And this could take
Definitely.
care of stuff, because then it's like, okay, now you're really in a position where you can bring the best quality. What do you think it would take for you to say fuck everything else, Eternal Squad, this is really what it is?
Man, again, and it kind of like how when we were all talking about it from the get-go, man, just if I can just make this enough to just passively cover my expenses in life, just be able to pay for like my rent and stuff, and
Yeah.
internet access and all that. But man, yeah, that I think just being able to cover my basic expenses, and just I probably still would find myself wanting to work at least a part-time job, just because I
Right.
don't know,
You
just
need extra
sitting at
revenue.
home. Huh?
Extra revenue. Get out.
Yeah. Yeah. um so yeah, just I ain't trying to be a ninja, like making 10
You
mil
want
a
to have
year.
fun.
Yeah, because again, once you get into that spectrum, you start really having to kind of sell yourself in like a different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You kind of at some point have to kind of sell your moral like values and stuff at some point, and kind of,
Because you got a contract.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if I get big like that someday, sure. I mean, I'm not going to say no, but that's not the goal. The goal is
Right.
just to make fun content that people enjoy, and stuff that I enjoy too. And then
And I would
that's the main.
imagine too that it's like you want to be able to do, even if you get to that point, you want to do it on your terms. Like I can say no to this and it's not going to hurt me. I think
Yeah.
that would be for me. Like I want to be in a position where I can say no to something. I don't want to have to say yes. You know what I
Right.
mean? I think what right now most people at work, you can find yourself, because we find ourselves in positions a lot. I feel like where it's like I'm not comfortable with. I mean, we worked together, like you said, at AT&T, and there were situations where we weren't. I personally know I wasn't comfortable, like trying to pitch a certain product a certain way, right?
Yeah.
And it's not, and I don't want to make this that an AT&T thing, because every company I've ever worked for is the same thing.
Yeah.
You
I
know what
mean,
I mean?
everybody's trying to make that extra dollar.
Exactly. So it is what it is. But it's like it's harder for me to do it because I'm just not one to like mislead or do anything crazy in regards to like positioning anything. So I guess my thing is like, with what you talking about, have you looked into anything else outside of this? Okay, but let me rewind. For me, right, when I left AT&T and I knew I wanted to do the podcast, one of my first things I wanted to do, and I knew I wanted to do even before that, was like get some property, right? And the reason I
Hmm.
want to do that is I knew I wanted that passive revenue that is going to allow me to do stuff on it. Like if the podcast or the merch like goes down the toilet, like I can stay active
Yeah.
financially. I don't have to like, man, okay, what can I do to get my brand out there? I don't have to like steep to the lowest of, you know avenues to get money. You know what I mean? It's
Right,
like,
right, right.
so I got a property in a condo, and it was like, I mean, it was super cheap, but now I rent it out. So I mean, have you looked at any avenues like that? Because I'm a proponent of like, man, you gotta invest other places and look
Yeah,
at it, bro. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I had got this stock, and I don't know anything about stocks, right? But
yeah,
I got this stock. I was riding down this highway coming from DC one time, and this company had bought this Chevrolet factory, and I just was super interested, like, what the hell, why? And I ended up buying some of the stocks from the company at like $1.60, like $2 or $3 at the time.
hmm,
Today, I bought like 50 of them. Today, that stock is worth $26. You know what I'm
damn,
saying?
okay,
And it's like this was like a year or so ago when I did it. So I guess point being is like I'm trying a lot of stuff without knowing a whole bunch, but it's
yeah,
working. You feel me? So
yeah.
have you looked into anything outside of the gaming, like to create some financial stability?
Yeah, so a little bit, not too much, and not as much as I really kind of think I should and wish I was.
Mm,
But I did set up an Acorns account, and I do dabble a little bit in cryptocurrency,
gotcha.
just a little bit. So like the Acorns account, I have it, pulling out, so much money every week, just kind of investing in different stocks and whatnot,
Yeah,
and just kind of building up kind of a safety nest of money. So like if I
yeah,
fall on hard times, I could pull that money out and
gotcha.
have something to kind of stabilize me for a while.
Yeah,
And then in the cryptocurrency, yeah, I've just kind of been just kind of dabbling in that a little bit. I've got man, what is that app called? I got some cryptocurrency app on my phone where I just kind of
yeah,
again invest kind of money in different cryptocurrencies, kind of just buying the ones that are like a buck or two, a piece, and then just kind of watching the markets as they kind of shift and change. So
right. And I definitely ain't trying to turn this into a super serious thing, but I think from a creative standpoint, right, we really love what we do. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And a lot of us are doing this to a certain degree to escape like the 9 to 5 lifestyle of having to do something for financial means.
yeah,
And Trapping Out Your Mama Basement started as a platform to kind of say, okay, what are you doing that's dope? You know what I'm saying? You doing what are you gaming, or you got merch, or you trying to build a following, or you doing this? But how are you making sure you're financially stable? Because the
right,
last thing I want to see is anybody like put their heart out there and just get crushed. And with
right,
the property, you know what I'm saying? Now, technically, I'm on my fourth property. You know what I mean? I have
nice,
4 different apartments, and this has been in 2 years basically. So it's like, and not that much money. So I just look at it like, man, I wish somebody could have shown me this stuff. So I mean, we ain't gotta have that conversation here and now, but I
right,
mean, this is something I would love to, tell people about. Like, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm doing it. I am not the person to sit here and act like I'm doing everything right. I'm dealing with so much stuff on the back end. I, when I met you, my only source of income was AT&T. That was
yeah,
it. I had one check and I had that bonus. And now I got the property. I have the merch that's going crazy right now. Shout out to everybody because I put a lot of work into it, and this super high quality stuff from what I seen what everybody else do. Super
yeah,
quality stuff, going crazy with that. Um, I have I still have a regular job. You feel me?
yeah.
What else do I do? Bro, I don't even know. Like, I just try to do
You,
so much,
so
bro.
much, yeah,
Man, so I'm trying to start up a Patreon and different ways to generate revenue for the podcast. I started dealing with outside companies on like doing marketing stuff for them like that don't deal with my regular gig. You feel me?
okay, okay,
But again, bro, point being, man, we gotta be like you said, diverse, and we gotta
hmm,
build these different streams. So if somebody come and be like, "Look, I got a bag for you. I got 1 million. It ain't gotta be 10. I got half a million. Hell,
yeah,
300,000. I got
yeah,
300,000 for you." Like, that's a life changing experience for most people in any situation. But
absolutely,
if you can set yourself up to whereas you ain't gotta say yes, that's all you can still say yes, but you don't want to have to say yes.
right,
Is the thing. So
right,
yeah, man.
definitely.
So was there anything that you want to touch on, bro, or anything that you really was thinking, or you know, just anything you want people to know about you, or what's good, bro?
Man, really, all I, want to say is I just really appreciate you bringing me on, man. First of all, first and foremost, kind of getting me a little exposure here. But man, just stop by the channel sometime, kind of see what's going on. Again, I definitely am down to take requests from people. Like if there's a specific game, people are interested in seeing maybe someone else's perspective on. Like that's what I like to do, honestly.
Yeah.
So just kind of come by, see what it's all about, and I'm definitely always open for feedback. That's the biggest thing for me right now. I'm just trying to get everything how perfect, like how I want it, how.
Right.
And I joined this community called Pipeline the other day, and so it's been really a cool experience, kind of listening to what they have to say, because they actually have like professional streamers and stuff that will hold like seminars and stuff
That's
through
dope.
Discord,
Yeah.
and just kind of tell you, kind of about the pitfalls to avoid and stuff with the streaming platform and stuff. So always looking for different feedback, sources.
Bet it up. But that's the one thing I did want to actually talk about perspectives on video games. So I got the Switch and I was like, okay, I'm gonna make the dive, and I really am into the Pokemon joint. But also, Animal Crossing is
Mm,
like the shit,
it's big.
and it's huge right now.
Yeah.
So can you describe? Do you have the Sword Shield game or?
Yeah, I've got Pokemon Sword.
Okay, so can you like describe pros and cons of each game for me, just so I can see if I want to make it the deep dive on either one of those?
Man, so Pokemon Sword um is really cool. So what was the last Pokemon game you really dived into?
As far as like, so I still have the Go on my phone, which is
Okay.
not the true, but I mean for me it's like I can get through it. The last one I had was actually on a what is that, an emulator? I got the
Yeah.
whatever the last 3DS emulator before the 3DS. I think it might have been Moon or Sun or something. I don't
Okay,
know. It
Sun
was
and
one of
Moon.
those. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so the thing that I like about Sword is just really kind of the customization of your person,
Yeah.
honestly, because yeah, you can do, like, you can buy different, like, you can get different hairstyles, and you can kind of make your character how you want them to be rather than just some generic sprite.
Right.
um so the pros, honestly, are just kind of the smooth, it feels a lot more smooth than some of the older games. The new Pokemon are really cool. I'm a
Yeah.
big grass type guy, so that's always where I kind of lean.
Yeah. Is
um
the Giganta thing or
the
whatever? Is
Gigantamax,
that
man,
corny?
it's kind of corny,
Got
honestly.
you.
I kind of wish maybe that they would have just stayed with the Mega
The Mega and
Evolutions.
kept going with that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know. I feel like the one thing, kind of the con, I guess, would be, and this is maybe just a con for Game Freak and Nintendo in general. I feel like they're always trying to innovate instead of
Perfect.
sticking with the things that work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes it's a hit. Like, honestly, the Wii was a huge innovation, and it paid off. The Wii
Yeah.
U. Did you even know there was a Wii U?
I
Like,
did know it was a Wii U, but I really didn't. I kept calling the Switch the Wii for the longest, but I didn't know there was a Wii U, and I didn't. There wasn't much of a. What was the point?
so, like, basically, the Wii U, I feel like, was kind of the prototype for the Switch, because it had that big, bulky,
Yeah.
controller with the screen on it and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. But like, it was a flop, honestly.
Right. Well, maybe they had to do that in flop to get to the Switch, like you were saying. Like, okay,
Probably.
this didn't work, but the Switch is coming, and we know what we did wrong. So maybe that.
Yeah. So, kind of going back to the Pokemon thing, honestly, um, I don't know, man. It's just the storytelling is just gotten progressively better too. Honestly,
Gotcha.
the plot is a lot more kind of well thought out. Man, Animal Crossing has kind of been the business though lately, because
Yeah,
Animal
that's huge right
Crossing,
now.
I think I read somewhere it is like it's the reason that Switches were sold out during this pandemic for a while,
Right.
because I don't know, just something about simulating life in a game is just really interesting to people and kind
So
of
it's very similar to The Sims, is what you're saying.
yeah.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Um,
What's the
uh,
difference between that and The Sims, I guess?
so The Sims is kind of more of a true simulation, I guess. Because like in Animal Crossing, it's very free form, very sandboxy. So you're
Gotcha.
not like I mean you're kind of running the island now in this one and kind of making different decisions as opposed to just truly simulating life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like the really cool thing is like you can visit other people's islands and stuff too, so that it's a lot more social aspect in it than
Mm-hmm.
in like the previous Animal Crossings. Um, and you guys can kind of run around and like the big thing for people honestly was collecting all the different fruits, because each island has its own fruit that's like special to it, and there's six different, technically seven different types of fruits,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of collaborating with people, getting the different fruits, kind of just personalizing your island instead of just like a homestead, I guess is the major difference there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think honestly the big reason why it was so big is just because it gave you a sense of being able to hang out and kind of have a community with people when we were social distancing.
That's
You know,
dope. So it's just right timing kind of thing as
I
well.
I, I think in a weird way that it wouldn't have been as big of a game if coronavirus didn't hit. Like a Mack truck. So like
Yeah. Sure enough. Oh man, that's bad. I just never mind. I just read a story. I don't even want to bring it up. So yes, I mean it was just really. I was gonna get really depressing right then. But yeah, bro, that's dope. I really was wondering what's the difference. I think if I had to make a choice, I definitely more lean into the Pokemon just because like that's just always been my thing, bro. Like I remember we used to go to Walgreens and steal the holographics,
yeah.
from Walgreens all the time and just collecting those and Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And I never knew how to play Pokemon, but I actually got into Yu-Gi-Oh. But again, man, I'm trying to find more to do with this Switch because I got it and it rarely ever gets touched. I have like a Mario Kart Olympics, which is fun, a couple other things, but I need to get more into it. But
Man, so yeah, I would definitely recommend, if that's kind of where you're at, more of a like a game that you can kind of pick up and put down and not feel too bad about it. You know what I mean?
right,
So yeah, a game like Pokemon or Animal Crossing, is nice, especially honestly Animal Crossing, because the nice thing is every day there's like a little announcement at the beginning when you load up the game that
yeah,
kind of tells you like what's kind of going on, and they have special events happening all the time and whatnot.
right,
So it gives you a reason to keep coming back, which
yeah,
is nice.
right. Well, man, go let us one more time. Give us your group and your Twitch name so we can make sure we get people on there and get you up to affiliate status, bro.
Absolutely. So again, on most platforms, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, you can find me at the Blind Eternity. So the Blind Eternity, and then my Facebook group is, well, we got the Eternal Squad, which is again kind of what I'm calling the followers of my group here. And yeah, just look up the Blind Eternity on pretty much all social platforms right now.
Bet it up. I appreciate you, Lo, for sharing your story with us, man. Really getting into it, letting us know what some of your goals is, and we're gonna try to get you to affiliate status. Everybody, you still trapping out your mama basement, you know what it is. Eternal Squad, finna give me a hat. Y'all go grab y'all some merch from my man's, and that's what it is. So we all at y'all. Deuces.